Well, welcome back to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Halloween Extravaganza. And before I start, I just want to address something. Some people have been sending in requests for films. I already picked the 31 films I'm going to do. They may be on the list, they may not be on the list. And as far as suggesting things, some of the stuff I may not have, so I'm just going to go with what I got. But you'll be pleasantly surprised, I think, with some of the stuff I picked up. The other thing is my shitstorm still continues because I've been like trying to do these in sort of like groups of 3 to get them up so they run in time. Plus I got other shit I got to do here because I'm taping this Thursday and it's Wasteland weekend, and sometimes people like to stop by, say hello, smoke a joint, drink a beer, whatever. It's happened already a couple times this week, so I'm a little tied up with that. What happened was I went to get my stitches out, and I was running late, and there was no place close to park to the damn hospital, so I used the valet parking, which I never do. So I get the stitches out, I come out, give her my ticket. She's gone for like 15 minutes. She comes back and tells me my car won't start. I'm like, all right. Oh, you can't go down there. I says, well, I got to go down there because what are you going to do? So I go down there, stick the key in the ignition, jockey it around a little bit because I had one of those anti-theft things put in by Kia because of the idiots in Cleveland that fucking steal cars and wreck them and shit because of TikTok and this other fucking bullshit. So anyway, I figured that was the problem. I bring it to Kia and find out that my starter's on the way out. So that was $700 yesterday. So you wonder why I can't get ahead. I just can't. But anyway, let's go back to 1954. And if ever there was a perfect monster movie, The Creature from the Black Lagoon is it. I mean, it has everything. I mean, they discover a half man, half fish stuck in the evolutionary scale in the Amazon. And they send in a crew to check this out. And of course, they're going to try to capture the monster, which leads to a lot of mayhem, a lot of violence, and a lot of death. And of course, a love interest, Julie Adams, as the creature is enamored with her and sort of does this underwater ballet while she's swimming around. I mean, the cast is great. Richard Carlson, Richard Denning, Whit Bissell, and of course, Riku Browning is one creature and Ben Chapman is the other creature. And, it's just, there's not a thing you can say that's wrong with this movie. Not a thing. It just plays out perfectly. And, the thing has intelligence and it traps the boat and stuff. Just great stuff. Great underwater photography. Great fight scenes with the monster. Like I said, it's the perfect monster movie. So why would anybody want to fuck it up? Like, they've already fucked up all the Universal movies. I mean, look what they did to the Wolfman. We had 2 battling Wolfmen at the end. What a crock of shit that was. As far as, the Dracula Frankenstein remakes, I passed on them. I mean, Boris Karloff is Frankenstein, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, and so is Christopher Lee. Nobody else is. Fuck it. So, anyway, like I said, there's been rumors about John Carpenter going to remake this thing. Somebody else is going to remake it. Now there's another rumor in the works that somebody's writing a script. Okay, you want to do this, at least do it right. And don't throw in all today's fucking gore-splattered things, and don't have this thing like a Humanoids from the Deep type deal where it's banging chicks or something like that. No. If you want to go back to the roots and make a cool-looking monster. And actually, the creature from the Black Lagoon's costume was created by a woman. Mildred, I can't remember her last name, but she was sort of shoved into the background, which was wrong. So, anyway, of course, the film ends with the creature being riddled with bullets and sinking to the bottom of the lagoon. Well, sort of like Godzilla, after they saw the box office receipts, they sort of must have went, hey, we fucked up. We got to bring him back. Well, with Godzilla, they dissolved them, so it was like, okay, we'll find another one. There must be more Godzillas laying around in the bottom of the ocean. So they found another one. With the creature, no explanation. They went back to the lagoon. He was there. They're trying to capture him. They threw some kind of narcotic in the water that knocks out fish, and he floats to the surface. Then, of course, they bring him to Florida and put him in the aquarium, where he breaks loose, causes a lot of mayhem, even turns a car over at one point, throws a guy into the trees. The love interest is Laurie Nelson. And unfortunately, That film ends the same way the first one filmed, with the exact same scene of the creature sinking to the bottom. Of course, they got to do a third one, and of course, then they got to operate on him and make him. This is the weakest one in the series, I think, and shouldn't have been done actually. Don McGowan's playing the creature, I believe. They basically do surgery on him so he could breathe air, and when he gets loose, he's shot up a couple times, and the sad part is you see him walking toward the sea where you know he's going to drown. So they never did anything else after that, and it's probably good because, like I said, the rumors have been floating around for years about a remake, and it doesn't have to be remade. The movie's fucking perfect, okay? And here's my creature shirt that was drawn by Tare Prince, who unfortunately is no longer with us, and neither is Ben Chapman or Rico Browning, and I was sort of cool with Ben. Ben, was a pot smoker. Ben didn't want to take anything on the airline, so of course he, like a lot of other people, would call my room. And not that I dealt weed, I smoked weed with people. Somebody wanted to smoke a joint with me, fine. I could basically write a book about all the celebrities I've smoked pot with. But anyway, Ben was that type of guy, and he was a fun guy. I remember he was in the bar. I think one show it was his birthday, and he took his teeth out, put them on the bar, and was kissing somebody on the head and shit. It's pretty funny. But I remember I was up in my room, and it was Sunday night. He was supposed to leave early, and he calls me up, and he's like, "Pete, Jesus Christ, I'm fucking nervous. I can't sleep. Any chance you could hook me up with something?" So I said, yeah. So I rolled 2 doobies, went down to his room, handed it to him, and he gave me this reproduction of a lobby card that he signed, which was cool. I wasn't looking for nothing. And like I say, he's one of the guys I miss. He was just a cool guy, and, really cool with the fans. Another one was Julie Adams. She was really cool, too. Had a little interaction with Rico, but I sort of was phasing myself out of the East Coast conventions at that time, so it's all good. But like I say, if you're going to remake it, do the right thing. Don't make this a fucking bloodbath or whatever the fuck's going on today, because most of the films that are coming out today kind of suck. So that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. There'll be more Monster Madness tomorrow, so we'll check you out then, and we'll catch you on the flip side. So stay safe.